All right, guys. So just a quick little trade recap here. So if you guys were on stream this morning, you guys heard me saying that I wanted to wait for price to set up after we hit the new week opening gap, set up a retracement back to equilibrium of the range. So just a real quick trade breakdown of my thought process here with this entry. So first and foremost, let's jump up to the 1 hour because obviously we had to wait for a high to be put in. And if you look back here to the 1 hour, and what's funny is ICT actually mentioned this in his YouTube video last night about these fair value gaps that have nothing but a wick overlapping them, no bodies. So I was keeping this in mind as we traded up into this. This is kind of a newer concept for me, but it worked well today, where if you have this wick covering this fair value gap, this is actually a great opportunity for reversal. Price likes to come back and revisit this price action before reversing. So noticing this, I was starting to pay more attention for short entries. So you guys can see here that I have a couple different executions. So I actually did front run this trade first. The way that it worked is once we traded up into 50% of this wick after hitting that gap, 50% of this wick, we start pushing away and seeing this price action here. I just was liking the way that this was looking. And I was very confident that at some point we were going to go visit very bare minimum the inside of this range, which was a open imbalance on the higher time frame. And also the 12 p.m. hourly candle left no lower wick. So I'm like, we're going to go take out the candle opening price of that 12 p.m. candle at some point, and it just happened to be below equilibrium of this range. So because I was a little unsure, we've been very bullish today, very strong. I unfortunately did not have the cojones to hold for more. Obviously a little disappointing seeing the bigger sell-off that has taken place. But I just went for a low-hanging fruit. What happened is I entered here. You can see I got filled at 481 and a quarter here on this candle. And as we were chopping around in here, my thought process was simply, I'm like, okay, you know what? I see this higher up a 1 minute gap coming into, this is the 1 p.m. macro. So my thought process was, you know what? I'm going to go break even on this trade, this original entry. And I put a sell limit inside of this fair value gap. And my thought process was, I'm like, you know what? If I can stop that break even on this first entry, that's fine. It's going to allow me to get a better entry anyway. I had the same stop loss, which was this high. And it just worked out that that's how it played out. So price did manipulate here, 108. And we came up. I got stopped at break even on that initial entry, a little bit in profit, I guess. And then we tapped that sell limit. My sell limit got triggered inside of that fair value gap at 487 and 3/4, almost 488. And then we sold off very quickly to that 1 hour low inside of this imbalance in here. And yeah, just the reason I took it off was because it was low hanging fruit. I was a little unsure if we would find support in here, because if you look here to the left, this low here before this big rally had already taken out this low here. So I just wanted to deal inside of this current dealing range, I guess. However, you can see the logic with the higher time frame narrative. So if I just go ahead and remove this, the higher time frame narrative, like if you just include all of today's price action, let's jump out actually to like the 15 minute. You could definitely have made an argument for lower. So let's find 9:30 a.m. here. Yeah, I mean, we traded back to OTE of this range. So here's 9:30 a.m. low. Extend this out to the high. Boom. Perfect trade down to equilibrium of this range as well, and OTE of this range. And now we'll see. We'll see if it wants to find support here or if it wants to trade lower and clean anything to the left out for any of this sell side in here. But I think this looks like a great rebalance to hopefully on the higher time frames continue going higher, which was kind of what we talked about this morning on stream. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Hopefully this helps. Definitely left a little bit of profit on the table here. But I was very, very confident in the low-hanging fruit target. So that was really all I asked for. Made roughly $670 across 5 XFA accounts, so a little over 3,000 in total. Not too bad. I'm not going to complain about it. I had to stay really patient for this. But if you guys were on stream, like I said, this was what we were waiting for pretty much after missing the entire move up. So if you guys caught it, congrats. If you didn't, don't have any FOMO and do something stupid. I'll see you guys tomorrow.